Yeah, yeah. It's as you said, like I can't believe it's already the end of 2020. It was hitting me. I was casting with Yoda Slim. I was even casting with you, like DreamHack last week, and it's like, mate, this is it. Like this is the end.
It's winter.
Yeah,
It's winter.
it's winter. It's not winter down here in the.
Like,
Yeah, it's not winter down
well,
here
it's
in the
winter
southern.
DreamHack land.
Yeah, in the southern hemisphere, but like it's like the end of like the year when it comes to EPT.
It's the end of for you, my friend. All right, enough of that existential dread. We are going to be loading here on to Romanticide. Oh no, but that's more existential dread. LE. LE, of course, standing for Lovers Encirclement. Lovers Encirclement. That's when you get a flank on your lover, if you will. I'm not really sure where I was going with that one. In the bottom right corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom right corner map, we have the red Terran player coming out from the land of China. He is going to be representing KZ Gaming, KZG. We have the player who is known as Li Peinan, but also known as Time.
Of course, he is doing time things as he is proxying across the map and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Romanticide LE. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, who is currently scouting the proxy. We have representing Into the Clan, Patience.
He's actually gonna delay the racks. He's actually delaying the racks. That's the only racks that Time has. He's not building one back at home. He wanted to get the bamboozlement out. But you know what? You cannot bamboozle Patience, you know? Time thought, okay, this is gonna be a good spot. It's not an obvious proxy location. It's decently far forward, so my Reaper will be able to get there quicker, but not too far forward that, you know, I am gonna leave it too vulnerable. I can always float it back home. And that doesn't really work with Patience. Patience goes for those proxy locations. Because he's the one who wants to make his own proxy.
Yeah. I love it. Like, Patience, you could see the pathing. Like, he was expecting a proxy. Like, he was looking around the map for something like that coming out from Time. He was able to spot it. He was able to delay it. And now he should be able to prepare himself for this Reaper. So it shouldn't deal, ideally, it shouldn't deal too much damage. But we'll see.
Yeah, that we shall. Second Reaper going to be coming up from Time, and I'm loving this from Patience. Completely dodging the racks over there with his Zealot. Just going to try to see if he can, you know, maybe get a lay on that factory or, you know, some other ways to slow down the build of Time over here. Because it is of the essence. Time is, I mean...
Yeah, it definitely is. And Patience, he's buying some because he may be able to force at least a second Reaper back home to defend against his Zealot. No, he commits. Oh, no, okay, never mind. He comes back. So, yeah, this could have been a lot worse for Patience, and he's forcing, you know, this aggression to be suboptimal from Time.
Yeah, it very much is. One probe goes down, but you gotta imagine, you know, if there were two Reapers out, how many more would have died? It even gets killed by that Stalker. So Patience playing a really leveraging his advantage right now, if you will.
Yeah. Oh my god, he knocked it in!
Actually bouncing the Zealot into the base. Now, to be fair, I don't think the Zealot is gonna get too much done. Time can just kite that with the Reaper to Kingdom Come, but you know, pulling a couple of SCVs out in the mineral line. And this is already a pretty inefficient start here for Time. So just, you know, whatever else Patience can do to sort of force Peinan to get a little bit flustered, a little bit of a screwball thrown into his build. It's just gonna be a domino effect for here on out.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I'm so impressed by Patience. To be fair, like, some of the aggression and some of the damage that he's been able to do is attributed to Time because he was able to...
A little bit.
Just a little bit. So, you know, they did work together on that, but yeah, Patience, he's playing this out so well. We'll see if he can keep it up.
Yeah, I think the way I phrase it is more of Time. He took some risks, and then Patience just absolutely punished those risks.
Yeah, 100%. Because of that, like, his economy is late, like, his natural is delayed, his production is delayed, you know, he wasn't able to deal the damage with the Reapers, he lost his first Reaper as well, but, you know, that isn't the end of it. He had a shaky start, but, you know, he has a follow-up.
Exactly. Those Reapers, they were just the beginning. Didn't get any damage done with them. Who cares? Here comes a moneymaker as Time is doing what he does best. We've loved this when we saw Time do this in TVZ last week, Light. And I gotta be real honest with you, I feel like it's gonna do so much better in TvP.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, it's a little easier, you know, to get things like spores out or to have spores ready for the Zerg. But Patience, oh my god, he's getting cannons in the middle
I'm looking at that rally. I'm looking at that rally. And there's already an observer out here, so sure, there's an armory, and sure, there's drilling claws.
Oh god.
But yeah, I mean, 2 probes get taken out. Not too bad, but for 2 Widow Mines, they just get taken out immediately. Not particularly worth it here. Time is continuing to build Widow Mines. Already finished up those drilling claws, so he's actually swapping the factory over onto a reactor.
Yeah,
trying to get more of them out.
Yeah, so this would have been okay if it was just a pure, like a regular Widowmine drop, but because Time, he invests so much more into his Widowmine drops, whether it's in a TVZ or a TVP, like he has drilling claws, he has the armory, like he's invested so much more resources into this, like he needs it to deal damage. And I love this because the way Time plays this out, it's not like he drops once or twice, like he keeps going with them, like he's pumping out more and more, and he's getting more and more medevacs out, like it's something that's meant to snowball.
It very much so is. Remember, Time pretty much only needs us to succeed once or twice in order to get a big snowball effect here. I mean, his economy back home, it's not the best in the world, but it's about equal with Patience, which means it's better for Time because, you know, obviously mules.
Yeah, definitely. And we do see we have 2 drops getting ready to dive in. We have a drop looking to get into the natural. We have another drop looking to sneak into the main base. It looks like it is kind of getting spotted by Patience, but the problem is Patience, he has always Blink Stalkers across the map. He's being aggressive with them, so they're not going to be at home to defend.
Yeah, honestly, it's a little bit strange to me that Patience decided to just put so much of his faith in these cannons. No reaction, slow reaction, and 13 probes do go down. That is the damage that Time needed, and that is the damage that will be able to snowball.
Oh my god.
Will allow Time to snowball, rather.
Yeah, but you know what's scary? As, like, sure, Patience, he's going to be losing all his probes across the map, and he's not reacting. There is no tank. He could blink up into the main base, and there's only a handful of units here to defend for Time.
That there is. I mean, even with the best kiting in the world on that Cyclone, you gotta imagine eventually he's gonna run out of room. Time, Patience rather, he should be able to blink on top of these as well. Takes out the bunker. And with that, once again, Time has very, very weakened defense. A tank does come out, and that is starting to look pretty optimistic for him, but we'll see what he can get done. There's not too much of a buffer.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I'm so surprised by how resurged Patience was. There was a solid maybe 30 seconds where that tank was not out, that there was an opportunity to blink into the main base. But now, you know, enough time has passed where he's got the tank, he can defend.
Indeed he can. And obviously not losing too much here. Time has losing, what, a handful of SCVs and, you know, forced to lift on that third base. So won't exactly have the best economy compared to Patience, but it's good enough.
To be fair, like, this was necessary. Like, forcing the liftoff, at least, bare minimum, this is the damage that Patience had to do because of all the workers he lost across the map. Like, he needed to do something to make sure, like, Time just didn't get away with it.
Yeah, he did buy himself quite a bit of time to actually catch up in terms of the worker count here with Paynon. And the StarCraft started to come in, and I see one blink forward. One blink forward is all you really need here, Patience. But he decides not to risk it. He already sees the tanks there that were nicely sieged up. And again, it's so weird to see, or to say, but Patience, he's actually calculating. He's actually being cautious.
Yeah, exactly.
He's living up to his name.
For better or for worse, you know, depending on how you look at it, he is being very careful, very cautious with his army movement. And because of that, like, he isn't, you know, potentially throwing the game. He isn't taking any bad fights. You know, he's picking and choosing, and he's trading well. And because of that, like, we are kind of even in this game. But we'll see. He is pushing up the ramp.
Yeah, Charger's starting to come in. Nice buffer here for the tanks. And the Chargers do start to go down, but the StarCraft blink right on top of them. I don't think Patience has too much staying power with all these medevacs and with all this bio, but apparently he does. Quick warp in of Zealots just to provide a little bit more DPS, and I really don't know who this game goes to, or who this engagement goes to right now.
Oh my god, like, that warp in of Zealots was so key there. He's able to get on top of the bio, and there's only one tank, and GG gets called.
Time. Gonna be taking game number 1 over here, which I'm so perplexed that he did that.
Patience is up in workers. He's got 47 to 39. He's equal on bases. Yeah,
they were equal on bases.
I
mean, that was a pretty big investment thrown there. That I mean, the army did kind of die there for Patience, but if we look at the army supply, it also wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
Patience was actually ahead in army supply.
Yeah.
What is going on?
We're looking at the graph. Hold on. You know what? I'm gonna switch scenes. I almost never do this. Let's look at the graphs together. Like Patience, sure, he was investing a lot into that, but in the end, he did end up trading relatively well. He was killing tanks. He forced a lift up on the. Wait, did he force a lift up on the third? I don't.
I think he did.
And like
I'm just watching a stream over here.
Yeah, like I don't know if like a GG was necessary there. In fact, I'm just gonna say no, it wasn't. Like I think he could have played that out.
He definitely could have. I mean, he pushed Time towards the corner, and then Time just punched him back once, and Patience said, "You know what? I'm out."
Yeah, and
I
it's
can't
not
be dealing with this.
Yeah, and it's not like he was it's not like he had like aggression across the map. Like I quickly checked the mini map, and no, like there wasn't like a drop or anything. Like there was no harassment whatsoever. Like things weren't like getting chaotic. Oh, that's why. God damn it. No, it looks like Patience, whether it was like Uber Eats or something, like Patience, he needs to go do something.
Really?
He could have called for
Really?
a pause. He could have
paused it, Patience. Really? Oh my lord. Well, you know what? Patience, he's feeling confident today. He's saying, you know what? I'm gonna let my opponent get that one game, because I need to get some Uber Eats out.
Yeah, he said, BRB, I need to go for I need 3 minutes, so something came up.
Oh, really? Well, I hope it's not anything too serious over there. You know what it is? It's probably just Bjorn knocking on his door like, hey, I brought soju.
Oh my god. Yeah, I like, to be fair, I hope it isn't anything serious. I hope it isn't like, I don't know, some kind of like family emergency. But mate, if it's something like Bjorn is, you know, visiting and he's like knocking on the door, he's like, mate, let me in, and Patience is in the middle of like a macro game. It's like, all right, hold on, I'll just GG out. Mate, call for a pause or something. Like, come on.
Yeah, which again, I mean, the part of me that always panics is like, oh god, I hope it's like, you know, almost like everything's okay with him.
Yeah.
But,
definitely.
You know, this is Patience we're talking about.
Yeah, like, because he only needs a couple of minutes, I don't think it's anything too serious, right? Otherwise, potentially he would, like, forfeit, because he would have to, like, I don't know, go to like, the hospital or something like that, right? Like, something incredibly serious. Because it's only a couple of minutes, I don't know, like, maybe, I don't know, maybe he, like, spilled a cup of water somewhere or something, like...
Spilled... Aircon started leaking on his PC.
Yeah, like, oh my god. Patience, mate.
Well, yeah, let's not get too pessimistic here, and yeah, let's definitely hope for the best when he comes back. And here's something that I want to ask, actually. Since, you know, we mentioned it a couple of times throughout these games that we said, do we just have a really skewed image of Patience in our head? Because we're like, oh, he's actually playing cautious this game, when we're like, well, is he though? Or do we just have this really, you know, do we just imagine Patience as like, yeah, I'm gonna do whatever? Do we really imagine Patience as this like mad, crazy madman?
So I have to.
And is that just not true, or is Patience actually playing different?
I would have to say it has to be true, because like that image of Patience has been painted by other people, and it's not like we were. It's not like we were necessarily influenced by that. Like we've casted a lot of these ESL Open Cups, and we've casted a lot of Patience, and we've seen for ourselves, right, firsthand.
Yeah, I think you can probably round up the casters who are, you know, a lot more familiar with the Korean players like Wardy or Tosis or whatever. They probably also agree to an extent.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, they do. They always say that. Like, Artosis borderline. I don't want to say BM, but like whenever they cast Patience, like they go on a rant, and Artosis is like, "Look, I don't understand Patience. I don't like." It's not like he's like amazing at macro or micro or anything like that. His brain is just wired differently. Like he uses these terms to describe Patience, and yeah.
Can you blame him?
Not at all. Not at all. It makes complete sense to us, but of course we were just feeling time, patience. He's back. He has returned from whatever it was that he was doing for a couple of minutes. He's back. Time is back, and we're getting into game 2.
That we are. I love chat is catching up to. I love that chat is catching up to it.
Oh my god.
Right, well,
look, if you're a pro gamer in the chat.
Do?
And we have a couple of them, you know, we have a couple of like Oceanic or C or NA or LATAM. Like, mate, if something comes up, just
don't
be afraid to pause. You know, I know a lot of people don't want to be like an inconvenience and stuff, but mate, just pause, let us know, and so you can continue the game, right?
Yeah. Definitely. Well, we are going to continue in here onto Def Aura LE. We're here in the bottom right-hand corner map, starting all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. The Red Terran player, the player who never pauses because of... I probably should have thought out of this segue better. He is going to be representing KZ Gaming, KZG, coming out from China. He is a player who never pauses because he is... of the essence. We have time.
Yeah, famously, his house was on fire, and he just kept playing.
Yeah, time's crucial.
Time is crucial. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Death Aura LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player. The blue Protoss, currently teamless but representing into the clan. Will he leave the game prematurely or will he pause? It is Patience.
I have few words. I was going to go into this whole thing of, Patience is actually going to pause the game like 2 minutes in, but then he'll unpause it without asking for a go 5 seconds later, and then he'll GG 10 seconds after that.
Look, I'm upset, or I'm frustrated because Patience, he was like looking really good that game, you know? Like,
yeah,
he totally could have won. Yeah.
Absolutely could have. I mean, again, he was just backed into a corner there.
Yeah.
Forced to pull the boys. He was losing a lot of SCVs. He didn't have anything across the map to sort of equalize with time over there. But in the end, all right, enough about that. Let's learn from Peinan and not be too far behind in the past, and let's time it up into the... Look, I wish we were casting Future. So that would actually have made sense. So that segue would have actually made sense. But yeah, let's see what's going to go on here on game number 2. As you said, Patience, he was looking really good in game number 1. But I mean, let's see if that continues here in game number 2. Game number 1, I feel like it really was a case of Patience being a little diligent with scouting, seeing, time, he's taking a couple of risks. I'm going to punish those and then just snowball a potential victory from there. So we'll see right now, as both players are playing a lot more standard, not taking it too many risks.
Yeah, definitely. I think I like the way that Time is playing out game 2 because of how, I don't want to say disastrous, but how things just didn't work out for him in the opening, with that proxy, with that early kind of aggressive style from Time. So I like that he's learning from that. He's like, okay, that's not what I'm going to go for. Not against Patience. I'm going to play this out like a little bit more standard.
Yeah, that he will, and that standard is going to involve a couple of Hellions to scout, and obviously, mate, we love it. We see it all the time. That mine drop.
Yeah, he's going for that mine drop once again. This time, we do not see a tech lab. We do not see drilling claws on the way or an armory. We'll see if he throws them down later on as he banks up a couple more Widow Mines. He gets into the mineral line with these Hellions.
Yeah, shield battery working absolutely overtime right here, and the Oracle actually forced to use this energy here instead of across the map killing SCV, so this is already some pretty good value coming out from Time. Gets a full scout of this base, knows everything that Patience is going for. Let's see where he goes from there.
Exactly, he's able to scout the gases, he scouts the, he sees the Stargate, even with that Oracle as well, sees the Twilight Council, so Time, he's able to just see everything, and Patience, okay, I like this if this is a response to the scouting, he is going for a third base.
Yeah, gotta be real honest, I'm not too familiar with the protocol right now for Protoss, based on what they are able to scout, if that's the correct move. I think it is, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if he decides to be aggressive, like a time he has a lot of information. Meanwhile, we do have this drop in. Oh my god, the drones, the workers.
Yeah, quick to pull away. And I was worried for a second. Looks like a bunch of them were clumping up, but yeah, not quite. No armory this time, so they actually reveal themselves after they shoot their shot. Another medevac coming in from the north here for time.
So it looks like this was a lot less committed, and I think that was maybe the right move because we do have everything getting cleaned up. Meanwhile, we have another drop here into the main base. We'll see how good Patient's reactions are and up.
Oh, and it's quick enough, but a little bit. Oh, again, worried a little bit because a little bit of body blocking going on, but nothing to really worry about. Patience, I do not believe he's lost a probe. Okay, he's lost a couple of probes, but again, it could have been way worse than it was.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, I mean, we'll make sure that we get game hard in the next game. As is not here. In the end, 6 probes went down to 6 widow mines. So honestly, Patience, he microed very well there.
That he did. And from here on out, you know, both players just taking it slow, building up their armies. Time wanting to go for that +1 timing push. And I feel like it's going to be on Patience to sort of scout this and, you know, build up his defenses back at home.
Yeah, honestly, Patience, he's been really good with this scouting. Like, he's been able to use Revelation a couple of times to see the production, to see the army. I don't believe he has seen the 3rd CC quite yet, so he's unaware that Patience has this. But I do think that, you know, for the most part, we're kind of slowing down. And I'm really curious to see what kind of army composition Patience is going to go for.
I want to say Colossus. That's based on the, I want to say +1 Colossus with Zealots, just based on, you know, he's been throwing out this Revelations. He should have an inkling of, you know, what time is building up for.
Yeah, like he sees the heavier like tank count, especially compared to game 1. So charge lots will do well, and we do see the robotic spay on the way. The most standard thing is for Colossus. It'd be a little bit crazy if he decided to go for disruptors.
Which is why Patience is probably going to go for disruptors.
Oh my god, I hope not. I hope not. He does have a ping advantage, so there is that going for him, but no, we see thermal lance on the way.
Yeah. I like how you were trying to justify going disruptors because you're like, oh wait, he's got a point. Patience would probably go disruptors here. So like, yeah, well, you know, ping advantage can work out in the purification of us. You sounded so relieved when he saw that thermal lance. I gotta tell you, like,
yeah. Look. Sometimes you gotta try and tap into the mind of Patience. Okay, I'm used to it when it comes to me and Micah. Okay, like this is what I do. Get a glimpse into the madness. But no, okay, Patience, you know, he's playing this more standard. I'm okay with this.
Yeah, as am I. Colossus here are honestly pretty good as a defensive tool, especially against this particular tactic coming out from Terran. Of course, one weakness that it does have is if a Terran player decides to, you know, be more multi-prong heavy, you know, have another drop set up. Those Colossus can't be in 2 places at once. Which is why Patience is starting to diversify a bit.
He definitely is, and honestly, this is one of the things that I love most about Time. I love how aggressive he can be, how drop heavy he can be, but that's also why Patience, he's been on top of these Revelations. He was able to even reveal these medevacs for quite some time to make sure that if a drop happened, then Patience, he would, you know, be well aware of it.
And he should be more than aware now. Sees everything moving out. Well, most of everything moving out. That's a lot of tanks, but again, tanks are a very immobile unit, especially when you're on the offensive. Patience, he just needs to really find the correct angle, the correct position to fight in, and I'm not too convinced this is the right one.
Yeah.
It's a little bit exposed here. No shield batteries to really support, but does start chipping away at the bio and takes out a decent amount of Marines with his thermal lance Colossus.
Yeah, and that's the most important part, right? Like this is what you need to do as a Protoss player. When you see a big tank push coming, you need to force the tanks to siege up well away from your bases to slow down the push and even force his time to back off.
Does force him back off. Charge is almost going to be complete here. But Time will react quick enough, splits up his bio, and will have a lot of tanks there. I don't care how many charges you've got. Okay, well, if you have a lot of charges, you'll be able to take out those tanks. But you get the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what I love? Like, Patience, he's just been on top of these revelations. Like, he just continues to do it, making sure he's able to see when the unsiege happens, so he knows the opportunity that he has to push on forward. Even scouting once again with that Oracle, but it looks like it's gonna go. Oh, saves it.
Wow. I think he's gonna save it again. Does get another reveal, which I do love, and yeah, I'm definitely with you there. He got this Oracle early on in the game to get some harassment done, and now because he kept it alive for so long, he can use it for something different, use it for something else that's also useful. Especially because Patience has not been making observers.
Yeah, like he has been.
Where they are.
Yeah, he's been focusing a lot more on that AoE, but it looks like, oh god.
I wanted to say the Oracle survived, but just killed by that Marine. And Patience is actually being very, active here with his defensive force. Sends a bit of a run by here. Misses the base fight a little bit.
Yeah, unfortunately, he was being a little bit too greedy, not opting to go for the fourth base, but instead going up the ramp to try and get into the natural. Faces the reinforcements, does get swatted away. And we do see that we have a couple of ghosts incorporated now. EMPs are available. He was able to kill the rocks as well, trying to bypass the army.
And honestly, these reinforcements are looking scary. And I mean, that was a pretty good idea for Patience, just trying to, have a good offense to have a good defense. But in the end, his army gets caught in the middle of the map. Quick warp into chargelets will help a little. But two Colossus have already gone down. Here comes the flank, though! Completely sandwiching the army of Time, and it is taken out!
Jesus Christ, Patience, he sold it. He was like, look at me, my entire army is here. Oh no, you're pushing me back. Jokes, he goes for a massive flank with a ginormous army of zealots, completely sandwiches and just eats up the army of Time.
That was an anglerfish. That is what Patience is. He dangles the opportunity in front of his prey, and it just goes in for the sucker punch.
That was beautiful. Oh my god, the bait coming out from Patience, and look at the difference in supply. Like Patience, like Time lost so much. Not just the bio, he was able to save the medevacs, but most importantly, he lost all his tanks.
He lost all of his tanks. It's been completely reset. I mean, Time, he's trying to go into a bit of a different army, incorporating the Liberators, but again, he has just been hit so badly by that engagement. And I mean, a good thing for Patience, he kept his army alive, but an even better thing, he kept both of his bases, his fresh bases alive. He is now a Protoss player on 6 bases against a Terran player on 4.
Exactly.
That is massive.
And something that Time, like, he's known for his drops, but he hasn't dropped a single time this game. And I would like to attribute that to the Oracle and maybe the Revelations, maybe making it a little bit too risky to drop. It's kind of hard to say, but yeah, like, as you were saying, the bases have been completely left alone. Finally, Time is looking to harass with these Liberators.
Yeah, I think he sees a cannon being built there. Yep, he does. So trying to go for somewhere a little bit different, but not really finding any way to siege up.
Yeah, he's just struggling to find an opportunity. But here we go. Finally, he sieges up on both of the bases.
Yep, right on the edge. Really making sure that no anti-air can hit, without it hurting. I do like that Patience is trying to get a cannon on the edge there, but not really working out. Phoenix should be able to deal with that. Nice bunker placement.
Ooh,
and a really good EMP as well, but Patience, he's just going for it. He wants damage to be dealt, but realizes that not much can be dealt.
Yeah, I think what's important is that he actually dipped in, he killed the sensor tower and then backed off. Like the entire time that sensor tower saw the entire army, he saw where Patience was. At the same time, we see a bunch of DTs looking to try and snipe or deal some damage, but they do get pushed away.
Yeah, it does force a scan out though, which is definitely nice to happen. Battery overcharge being used right now. A couple of DTs being used defensively. Do we see another flank? No, not quite.
Not quite.
Patience is just going for it with his DTs. What is with Patience with DTs today?
I was about to say, you said a couple of DTs, mate. That's a lot of DTs.
Yeah. That's almost an excessive amount of DTs, and this is not the best positioning right now for Patience. But Time, it seems that he has just enough Marauders over there. And that would have been a really good flank, but Time has actually outflanked Patience.
Yeah, that was a massive loss there for Patience. He lost a bunch of Colossus for free to those Marauders. Meanwhile, though, there's a massive DT warp in. DTs and Zealots looking to try and take out the Ghost Academy.
And this is actually super crucial right now for Patience. Time is bringing back his entire army. If Time pushed with that counter, if Time decided to counterattack with that and, press his advantage, I do not quite see Patience. I mean, he should be able to hold it, but not without sustaining pretty heavy losses. But now, I mean, Time, he's just rebuilding his army. He's got 2 robo facilities. He's building 2 Colossus at a time. His warp gates are really starting to come into play.
Yeah, definitely. At the same time, I love this patience. He's applying as much aggression as he can. He needs to, because he lost all those Colossus. He needs to buy time to build up, you know, the backbone of his army. So he's doing his best to try and harass, keep Time at home. And with that, unfortunately, he was not able to snipe that Ghost Academy. Time was able to save it, but he dealt a lot of worker damage. Again, Time is down to 68 workers compared to the 92 of patience.
His full prism is still here. There's only 2 Marines here for anti-air. Those ZTs are completely messing up that base. Tanks here are super exposed, but again, Patience not overextending in here. I think that is something that's a little bit easy to do as the Protoss player, and Patience is pretty aware of that. Is making sure that he doesn't misstep his army, making sure that he doesn't, you know, allow Time to have the opportunity to counterattack. And right now, Patience just keeping Time back at home, rebuilding that army.
Yeah, definitely, and I'm a little bit concerned because I do think that Patience has too many workers. I think he's playing a little bit too much like TY at the moment, where he didn't stop. He has 99 workers.
He does have 99 workers.
Oh god. And now that the majority of the Stalkers, the Gateway units, were taken down, so there's nothing to really stop Time from steaming forward, takes out 2 Disruptors, essentially for free. At the same time, Patience, he counterattacks with all these ZTs, takes out the Planetary.
Yeah, I am a little concerned. I feel like these ZTs will, at some point, run out of value, but that time hasn't happened yet right now for Patience. And I do agree with you here. You know, Patience, he's got
100.
Too many workers. He's got 100 workers right now. He stopped building he stopped building those, but he's always going to be lower in the army supply whenever he engages against Time.
Yeah.
Unless he can find, unless he can really crush the army, the Terran army, that is.
Yeah, and I agree with you when it comes to DTs. Like, eventually, you know, they are kind of diminishing returns, right? Where they kind of cost more than they're worth. But at the moment, Patience, regardless, he is finding a lot of damage with them, even sneaking around, containing Time, keeping him on 4 bases.
Yeah, and I guess forcing a couple of scans is pretty useful when we get into the late game, when Terran really does want to rely more on the mules, right, and the SCVs. This base will go down, and Patience, does he have enough to fight, or does he even have enough to retreat? He's not retreating, which is so odd. Yeah, but then again, this is the Patience we're used to.
Like, the problem is Patience has a massive bank. He has a 1k mirror, 1k gas bank. He needs to make an army. His army is just so tiny at the moment. There's just not enough to stop Time.
Too much those 2 Colossus and whatever he's got across the map to deal some damage. A little bit of a miss scanning over there. Oh, but the EMPs do land on the majority of these ETs. But I feel like Patience has bought himself enough time to get in some warp-ins. Time. You know, every time he sort of pulls back a little bit, gets a scan out. You know, Patience is actually using that. Patience is using that to get more reinforcements in, using that to make sure his army is in position, and he completely deflects his push.
Oh yeah, definitely. Meanwhile, it looks like Time, he sent his reinforcements. He was able to deny one of the bases of Patience. But Patience, he recalls to defend.
And he does. Oh, good snipes over there on the Disruptors, losing them basically for free. But GG in the end is called. Patience taking that game 1 and tying up that series 1-1. I wanted to say taking that game 2-1, but then I realized, wait a minute, game number 1.
Exactly, right? Like, this could have been a 2-0. Patience could have 2-0'd Time, but of course, we don't have to bring it up again. Game 1 happened, is what happened.
Uber Eats happened, is what happened. Bjorn brought his puppy over, is what happened.
Oh, God.
And I am pretty glad that we were able to get a bit of a longer macro game out of that. And surprisingly close, to be honest. I feel like Patience was making the right decisions for the most part, you know, really usually forcing Time back to pull his army back while he rebuilt, you know, being greedy when he had the opportunity and whatnot. And there were a couple of moments where he did get a little bit out, I want to say out-positioned or out-microed there by Time, because, you know, Time obviously... We know him to be one of the better micro players, or one of the best Terran micro players currently out there. But yeah, Patience just made all the right moves.
Yeah,
took in the end.
I really want to, like, you know, praise Patience a little bit when it comes to his Oracle. Like, as you said, he started off with one Oracle and he kept it alive for a solid 11, 12 minutes. And the entire time he just was utilizing it so well with that Revelation, making sure he kept tabs on that army so he could make sure that he was in position whenever he needed to be.
Absolutely. And on the plus side, because he did that, he didn't have to make observers. He could make more Colossus. But we shall see if that happens again. Over here on Oxide LE, we are all oxidizing as time goes on. You cannot stop the airbenders. And that's why the Fire Nation attacked. Over here in the top right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the top right-hand corner, we have the Red Terran player coming out from the land of China. He is representing KZ Gaming, KZG. We have Li Peinan, Time. I didn't remember if the GSL announcer does legal name before in-game name, or in-game name and then legal name.
I couldn't remember either. Yeah, I've heard that before, but and spawning in, I know Castle does that. I know, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Oxide LE, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Team Into the Clan. It is Patience.
Team Into the Clan.
I know, right?
When are we gonna get just Team Clan Gaming?
We're just Clan Gaming.
Clan Gaming. Team
Clan.
What? Yeah, Team Clan Gaming.
Team Clan Gaming Group. Just.
No, see, it has to have that gaming in the end there, so we can have TCG.
Oh yeah, boy, that's what we need.
Why not? What else could we throw in?
Well, that's why, right? Like, instead of gaming, you have group, so it's still a G at the end.
Team Clan Group. Yes, I'm liking it. But we could probably throw esports in there somewhere.
We probably could. Oh god, but yeah, this game is a little bit interesting. I did notice that Patience, he had a lot of probes out. I say a lot of probes. He was scouting very vigilantly with this probe. Went all the way around looking for a kind of proxy. I was kind of half expecting him to proxy himself, but at the moment he's just rallied all around proxy, scouting, making sure that Time doesn't have a proxy.
Yeah, which, I mean, you can't really blame him. Happened once in the series, and it worked out for Patience pretty well. So, you know, just try to see if he can make Lightning strike twice. Or if he can force Lightning to strike twice in this case.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if he's able to make that happen. But we do see Time is playing this pretty standardly, pretty straight up. You know, he isn't going for any kind of aggressive shenanigans across the map. You know, he himself was actually scouting around with his Reaper, making sure there's no proxy.
Yeah, both these players know who they're up against. They gotta be vigilant here.
Exactly. Oh boy, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Again, when it comes to Patience and the worker count, in the last game, like, we've seen TY do it, but it makes sense for TY because I don't know if it's in regards to like the opponents he plays or his playstyle himself, but TY, he has such a high worker count because he often loses SCVs to harass. But because he has so many workers, like, he can kind of sustain that damage. Part of me, I may be I may be giving Patience too much credit, but I kind of feel like it's smart to do that against Time because Time drops so much and he kills so many probes. But that didn't really happen last game, you know?
Yeah, at most we had, those two Liberators that saw cannons and decided, you know what, not harassing anymore. But yeah, it is a very interesting thing coming out here from Patience. But here's a counter argument. Do you think maybe it was more of an autopilot move?
That's also very possible. It's very possible.
It is going to happen when you're, just doing muscle memory over and over again. But Time starting to really come in here with his drop, and that Widowmine does borrow before it gets taken out, but it does get cleaned up. Probes are starting to really get taken out, forced to pull the voice here. Patience is, and he's losing 10 probes. Will eventually clean out this drop, but this is a lot of value done. by time.
Yeah, definitely. Nicely done, able to drop, go straight into the natural, able to kill 13 probes in the end. And to be fair, it does seem like Time had to cut a couple of workers to make that happen, but he is still well ahead. And now it's on Patience to try and deal some counter damage as Blink is about to finish up. Warp Prism has just popped out as well, so he has the potential to blink into the main and deal some damage because the tank not quite out yet. Never mind, there's one in the natural.
Is one the natural, but it is nowhere near covering the main. No, tank should be able to pop out fairly soon, but yeah, well, I feel like it's less about the tank itself, but also about, you know, the buffer for the tank, you know, where these bio units. Time doesn't really have too much here at the moment, so Patience going to be trying his luck. Oh, putting that bunker in position. You love to see it. The Stalkers do blink up. In a pretty ballsy move here from Patience, but honestly, he should be able to get a decent amount of damage here. Not a lot of bio, and it's going to take a little while before, you know, the tanks are going to be able to siege up in position.
Oh my god, and I love this. He reinforces his army with some depth, so he can. Is he going to commit to the shade? He commits!
He does commit to the shade and will be able to take out the tank. Starting to really lose the workers because of the other tank and obviously because of the Marines, but a quick pickup over here. You know what I absolutely love though, Light? There's only one Raven out right now here for Patience. Yeah? Wait, did he snipe the Raven? Is the Raven still out?
Yeah, he
sniped the Raven. No, the Raven is not out. He sniped the Raven. He sniped the Raven. He sniped the eBay. And look at what's being produced right now. DTs are on the way. I just hit my mic because I was so excited.
What a big brain! Because, yeah, you're right. Like, he was able to delay that. I saw him snipe the Raven and I was like, oh my god, that's amazing. It's because to follow up his DTs and there's no detection.
No detection at all. There are about 2 scans available right now for Time. Once that runs out, what is he gonna do? What is he gonna do, Light?
Oh my god, he scans.
He gets Sim. He gets Sim. Doesn't quite get Sim.
Doesn't quite get Sim. I was waiting for the Warp Prince to pick up the DTs and save them, but no, not quite. Meanwhile, the soldiers are able to blink into the natural, snipes one of the tanks, able to micro as best he can. More DTs are being warped in.
Indeed, they are, and the scans have just about been used up here for Time. A lot of damage is going to be done, but the Warp Pistol does get taken out, and that is absolutely a start. A couple of turrets starting to get thrown down, so we shouldn't see any more damage come out from these ETs.
I mean, not in the mineral lines, but again, the production is still quite vulnerable. There's no missile turret to protect them, and he's just waiting for enough energy for a scan, and he doesn't quite have it. There it is.
Indeed, there it is. Without the Warp Prism, it's going to be a lot more difficult for Patience to, you know, get these ETs out of there. And Sokka's trying their luck, but in the end, not finding too much of it. And honestly, that wasn't terrible for Time. I mean, he's rebuilt his turrets, he's got his detection out, didn't lose too much infrastructure. He's actually ahead in terms of worker count and far ahead in the army count. I worry a lot for Patience now.
Definitely.
I gotta tell you.
I think the nail in the coffin was Patience losing that War Prism. If he hadn't lost that War Prism, he would have been able to continue to harass with the DTs, even micro a little bit, saving them whenever he can. But after losing that, like, that completely shut down the aggression. Sure, Patience, he's trying to do what he can, but he's still stuck on 2 bases. He's down in workers. He's trying to expand, but Time, he's looking to deny that expansion.
Indeed, he is. Double drop on the way. Colossus coming out, so that should be a pretty decent defense, all things considered, against pure Marine. Gets the kill. Time does.
Yeah, it does get the kill. Meanwhile, there are a couple of DTs in the main base of Time, but again, there is a missile turret. Detection is there. He's completely fine, and now the drop, it's going to the natural.
Yeah, completely depowers these warp gates, and the Colossus is still a little ways off. Forced to pull the boys once again, and these Marines are chewing through them, absolutely pulling them apart. And again, Patience will be able to clean this up, but at what cost?
The cost of 15 workers, the cost of the DTs not doing any damage across the map. You know, Time is working on his 3rd base. It is quite low, but again, he is working on it. He's still ahead in workers. He has the better army, has the better upgrades. Patience, he has to try and end the game with what he has. I'll be so surprised if he tries to expand from here. Like, I feel like at this point, you're kind of all in. Like, he's down to 34 workers.
He is down to 34 versus 50 workers right now. And I 100% agree with you there. The Colossus are out now, so you can try to get something done, but yeah, it's not looking too good for a blue Protoss player. Missile turret just completely zoning out the Colossus as well. Loses a Warp Prism, and with that, so does the Colossus. GG is called, and Time is going to take that series 2-1. What? I just keep imagining what could have been. Honestly, like
I know, right? There's a timeline out there where Patience lets his apartment burn down and he wins 2-0. There's a timeline out there where that happened, but that isn't this timeline. He fights back, he brings it back and wins 2-1.
yeah, gonna be making it to the semifinals to face, I imagine, Dark. Let me refresh the bracket real quick. Dark vs Cyan actually still going on.
Oh, okay. I mean, as a reminder to everyone in the chat, if you want to have a look at that bracket, !B in the chat, and you will get a link to the Wikipedia page as well as the ESL site, so you can have a look at that bracket. We can all look together, peruse, if you will, and, you know, try and determine what our next match should be.
Yeah, I mean, you can vote, but your vote's not gonna matter on what we're gonna get, on which match we're gonna end up in. But
there is a 2-minute delay, so chances are we're probably gonna find a series before chat is able to react. As I am quickly restarting my clients, and yeah, we will. Yeah, I had to change my SC2 mods for ESL Open Cup, and yeah, let's have a look and see which players are available in the lobbies.